In today's video, I am going to be giving you some simple basketball plays that you can run with most age groups. I'm not talking about like younger, like 9-year-olds. I'm talking like middle school and older. Younger players, anyways, who will be able to run these plays perfectly and get easy baskets. Let's get down. Let's check this out really quickly. If you want a killer basketball offense, make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out basketball offense that is down in the description below. And also, if you want a Horns basketball playbook, Horns is a fantastic offense that you can use and it's simple too. That's down there as well. So first, we're going to start in what's called a 1-4 low offense. We're going to start with player 2 as well as player 3 sprinting up to the wings. They're going to try and get themselves open so that player 1 can pass them the ball. So we're either going to be passing to player 2 or passing to player 3. When this happens, player 1, let's say, will pass to player 2. What we want to see is now player 5 setting that away screen for player 4 and player 1 setting the away screen for player 3. Player 4 and player 3 will use this screen, and player 2 is going to look to pass to either player 4 or to player 3. They will probably have open shots. The first few times running this should be pretty effective. If he passes to player 4, he could probably score pretty easily. Player 3 may have an open 3. There's options. If he passes to player 4, that should be a score. That's what we want to see. If he passes to player 3, now that is when player 5 will remove himself from the key and player 4 is going to set a back screen on player 2's man and player 2 will then cut to the basket. The idea here now is for player 3 to pass to player 2, and this is probably going to be a pretty easy layup. Player 4 is then going to pop after that screen, and if he's open, let's say 2 players collapse on player 2, then player 4 may have an open 3-point shot. However, when player 3 makes this pass to player 4, and let's say player 2 didn't get that pass, if player 2 got the pass, he better score. But if player 3 passes to player 4, he screens away, and player 2 continues to screen away, so that now player 1 and player 5 will use those screens. And now, again, we have the same options. Player 4 passes to 5 or passes to 1. If he passes to 1, now we will look to see if player 1 passes to player 3. If that's the case, then player 2 screens away, player 1 screens away, player 5 uses the screen, 4 uses the screen, and now this, if there's a switch, could be a mismatch. So if you run this through a few times, eventually you're going to be faced with a mismatch and an easy basket. Now, the 5-out offense is very simple. You can get it down in the description below, but this play is a lot of fun to run. We're going to have a pin down screen for player 5, and then player 1 is going to set up a dribble handoff for player 5. Player 2 is going to roll to the rim. Player 1 is going to pop for that 3-point shot. Player 5 is going to come off of that screen. Now he's going to have either player 2 as an option, player 1 as an option. He could take the 3-point shot himself. He could drive. There's a couple of different options there. However, if player 2 is not open, he's going to clear out, and we can run another 5-out play, or we can run the exact same play yet again, where now player 3 and player 5 will set this pin down screen and the dribble handoff for player 4. Player 4 gets that ball. Player 3, he rolls to the basket. Player 5 will then pop for that 3-point shot. Player 4 will come off of that screen, and now again he will have all of these options. And if that's not open, again we can run the exact same thing back on the other side. I personally really like the 5-out offense because you can run it as a motion no matter which way you're running it, and you can run the exact same set plays over and over again, and it will continue to work just like a motion offense. So really, if you want some simple offensive sets, you can run 5 or even 6 of these with like a 10 or 11-year-old players. Definitely go check out the 5-out complete guide down in the description below. Now, if you find yourself continuously going up against man-to-man defenses, a simple double pin down screen from players 5 and 4 go a long way in a Horns offense, where now player 3 and 2 will come off of those pin down screens, and player 5 and 4 will roll to the rim. This gives player 1 multiple different options to pass to. He has tons of options. Now, the idea here is players 4 and 5, they're not going to be setting screens way up here, because unless you guys are playing against a really terrible defensive team, they're going to probably set the screen somewhere around here, roll to the key, but you do not want them crossing. That just gets way too congested. So after they do this, and let's say there's no options, they can come back up and set back screens on players 3 and 2, and players 3 and 2 can then cut to the rim, whether it's a cut behind player 5 or a cut in front. I would prefer that one goes behind and one goes in front, because now we could make this early pass to player 2, collapse the defense, and make the extra pass to 3 for the layup. Or player 2 could just score himself. Horns offenses are generally more complicated, but can be simple as well. So if you want a more complicated style set, check out the Horns playbook that is down in the description below. A fun set that I like to run also myself, I don't run this specific play, but I like to run the 4-out set with the postman in the high post, is especially when we're going up, or a team is going up against a zone defense. I personally really like this one. I run this once in a while, but not very common. I run this sometimes as a half-court trap breaker, but generally speaking, this is how it's going to look. You're probably going to have players who are really trying to crowd that top guy, because at least at the higher levels, they're going to know that you're going to try and feed this guy as much as possible. So what you can do is have player 3 sprint up to the wing. That's going to be a pass over to player 3. After that pass, player 1 needs to cut. If he's open on the cut, you need to hit him, because what can happen is that will definitely collapse defenses. It's going to be a lot of trouble, and obviously if he scores, he scores. Now, after that cut, he needs to touch the key. He needs to pop out. Player 5 is going to go to this high post. Now what you're going to look to do is pass to player 1. That can be a 3-point shot. If the defense sets, now you can finally get that ball into the high post. On this play against a zone, if you get that ball into the high post, the weak side wing has to cut. This is going to either collapse the defense, where player 2 can't get that layup, because this is our number 1 option. This is going to be most likely collapsing our defense, so we'll do the skip pass out to the corner for the corner 3. So we have the layup option, and then if that gets covered, we have the 3-point option. It's a fun set to run, and it's not that hard to really run either. I hope that these plays help your team win more games. Make sure to go check out the complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below. But also make sure to go check out the Horns playbook that is down there as well. I'll see you guys again in my next video.